The morning rush had already begun when the first customers poured into the cafe inside Hartwell Financial Plaza. Fresh coffee filled the air as employees hurried to work, checking emails with one hand while balancing breakfast in the other. Behind the espresso machine stood a quiet barista named Ethan Brooks. He wore a plain black apron, a simple name tag, and the warm smile of someone who genuinely enjoyed making people feel welcome. Every customer received the same greeting. "Good morning. What can I make for you today?" Most smiled back. Some didn't even look up from their phones. Ethan never seemed to mind. Before sunrise every day, he also packed his 8-year-old daughter Ava's school lunch, braided her hair, a skill he had taught himself after losing his wife 4 years earlier, and walked her to the school bus before reporting to the cafe. To everyone who saw him, Ethan appeared to be nothing more than a hardworking single father trying to make ends meet. That was exactly what he wanted them to believe. What nobody knew was that Ethan Brooks was also the founder and CEO of Hartwell Hospitality Group, the company that owned hundreds of cafes, restaurants, and hotels across the country. Months earlier, customer satisfaction scores had begun to decline. Corporate reports blamed staffing shortages. Managers blamed training. Consultants blamed outdated systems. Ethan wasn't convinced. He believed the real problem couldn't be found in spreadsheets. It had to be experienced firsthand. So he quietly stepped away from his executive office, dressed like an ordinary employee, and began working anonymously in different company locations. Only 2 people knew the truth. The chairman of the board. And the head of security. Everyone else, including regional managers, believed he was simply a temporary barista named Ethan. His goal wasn't to catch mistakes. It was to discover how people treated those they believed had no power. Because character often revealed itself when no reward was expected. For 3 weeks, Ethan worked every position. He washed dishes. Swept floors. Cleaned restrooms. Served coffee. Carried heavy supply boxes. He listened more than he spoke. What he discovered surprised him. Most employees worked incredibly hard. Many managers treated their teams with respect. But there were exceptions. One Monday morning, a new district operations manager arrived. Her name was Vanessa Collins. She had impressive credentials, a prestigious MBA, and a reputation for delivering strong financial results. Employees whispered nervously the moment she entered. "She's the one who closed 3 underperforming stores. I heard she fires people without warning." Vanessa walked through the cafe carrying a designer handbag and an expensive tablet. She barely acknowledged anyone. When Ethan politely smiled and asked whether she'd like a coffee, she glanced at his name tag. "No." Then she looked him up and down. "You should spend less time smiling." The following Monday morning, employees noticed something unusual. The quiet barista wasn't behind the espresso machine. Instead, the coffee shop remained closed with a simple sign that read, "Temporarily unavailable this morning. Thank you for your patience." People assumed Ethan had taken the day off. Vanessa hardly noticed. She walked toward the executive conference room carrying coffee from another cafe, preparing for what she believed would be an ordinary leadership meeting. Inside, directors from every regional office had already taken their seats. The company's board members quietly entered one by one. Then everyone stood. Vanessa turned toward the door. A familiar face walked into the room. Her eyes widened. It was Ethan. But instead of wearing a coffee-stained apron, he wore a tailored navy suit. The chairman greeted him with a smile. "Good morning, everyone." He gestured toward Ethan. "I'd like to officially introduce our Chief Executive Officer, Ethan Cole." The room became completely silent. Vanessa stared in disbelief. She looked from Ethan to the chairman and back again. This isn't possible." The chairman smiled. "It absolutely is." Ethan thanked everyone for standing and invited them to sit. His calm voice hadn't changed. Neither had the kindness in his expression. "I owe you all an explanation." He paused. 3 months ago, our employee engagement surveys revealed a troubling pattern. He pressed a button on the presentation screen. Charts appeared showing declining morale, increasing staff turnover, and repeated complaints from frontline employees. Many people felt respected only when someone believed they were important. Another slide appeared. So I decided to spend time where respect matters most. Photographs appeared of Ethan working throughout the company. Serving coffee. Cleaning tables. Stocking supplies. Helping security officers. Talking with janitors. Sharing lunch with interns. No one had recognized him. I wasn't evaluating coffee. He smiled gently. I was evaluating culture. The room remained silent. Ethan continued. I met remarkable people. He praised the receptionist who memoized visitors' names. The security guard who quietly bought umbrellas for employees caught in the rain. The maintenance technician who repaired broken office chairs before anyone complained. The cafeteria cook who prepared special meals for staff with food allergies. Each story reminded the room that great companies are built by ordinary people doing extraordinary things every day. Then Ethan turned toward Vanessa. He didn't sound angry. Ms. Monroe. She slowly stood. You've produced outstanding financial results. She nodded uncertainly. But leadership isn't measured only by numbers. The screen changed again. Anonymous employee feedback filled the display. She never learns our names. She treats support staff like they're invisible. People are afraid to speak honestly around her. Vanessa lowered her eyes. For the first time in years, she wasn't being judged by quarterly reports. She was being measured by the way people felt after interacting with her. Ethan spoke quietly. Do you remember your first coffee order? She nodded. I criticized you. You criticized someone you believed couldn't affect your career. The words settled heavily across the room. But kindness shouldn't depend on someone's position. No one spoke. Finally, Vanessa took a deep breath. I owe you an apology. She looked directly at Ethan. No. She shook her head. I owe everyone an apology. She turned toward the room. I became so focused on performance that I forgot every employee deserves dignity. The silence that followed felt different. Not uncomfortable. Hopeful. Ethan smiled. Real leadership begins the moment we're willing to grow. Over the next several months,